is Caribbean News Desk. Hello, I'm Dennis Chabrol. In today's program, one of Guyana's opposition parties intends to vote against next year's national budget, even if it includes large salary increases. Tobago hopes to inch closer to self-government. Archaeologists find the bones of babies buried more than 11,000 years ago. And Toyota issues a global recall for certain types of vehicles. Stay tuned for the details.
We are one Caribbean, one people, one nation, facing the same destiny. Too separated we are, as one let's come together. One market economy, Caribbean is how it should be. Let's support, carry on, for Caribbean unity. It takes me for Caribbean unity.
The Alliance for Change says it will not approve Guyana's 2015 national budget, even if it contains hefty salary increases for government employees. AFC Leader Khemraj Ramjattan told a news conference that this party, which holds 7 seats in the National Assembly, will instead retable the no-confidence motion should President Donald Ramotar end the suspension of Parliament.
We know that they're going to come with all the goodies. 20% increase policemen's salary and public servants. That's what they plan to do. 100% for certain sectors of the public servants. One set of pork barrel projects. And then they're going to go to their constituency. See, we had a beautiful budget. And Ramjattan and them buys black the budget. So you got to vote back for we. Yeah. That's their strategy. It's not playing into their hands. That is doing exactly what we want to do. Elections.
Mr. Ramotar prorogued the Parliament on Monday to avoid a no-confidence motion from being debated and passed, moves that would have forced him and his cabinet to resign and call early general elections in 90 days. While the prorogation of the Parliament can last up to 6 months, annual budgets must be passed by April 30. The AFC and the Partnership for National Unity had decided to use their 33 votes and pass the no-confidence motion because the President has refused to sign into law opposition-sponsored bills. Motions passed by the opposition have been also ignored by government. The opposition is also concerned that government is spending monies on projects and programs that have not been approved by the National Assembly. The Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly, Orville London, is expected to push for a self-government of that island in a meeting with Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. That meeting was expected to be held late Thursday following a retreat by the Prime Minister and other members of Cabinet. Mr. London was reported by Power 102 FM as saying that self-government of the island will be the first item on his agenda.
Right, well, the first obviously has to be the question of self-government for Tobago, which has been on the agenda for, many decades. And I think we do have an opportunity at this point in time to bring satisfactory closure to it, considering that, all the public utterings of the major decision makers have indicated that they are in favor of self-government for Tobago. And as I have indicated on so many occasions, we have agreement on the what, and there's no reason why we can't sit down and discuss the how.
Established in 1980, the Tobago House of Assembly carries out a number of responsibilities of central government, but does not collect taxes or enforce laws. The House of Assembly is made up of 1 presiding officer, 12 elected members of the Assembly, and 4 appointed councillors. 3 of the councillors are appointed on the advice of the minority leader, and 1 by the Chief Secretary. Cuba's central bank has extended 323 billion pesos, or $135 million in personal loans since lending to individuals began in December 2011. The Communist Party Daily Granma quoted Vice President Francisco Mayobre as saying that total number of borrowers stood at 378,011 as of September 30. President Raul Castro's administration authorized lending to individuals as part of a package of reforms aimed at modernizing Cuba's socialist economic model. Mayobre says most of the borrowers have been people wanting to build or renovate homes and small farms. He acknowledges that borrowing by would-be entrepreneurs to start businesses has fallen short of expectations. The central bank says it has taken steps to make the process more flexible for borrowers, such as simplifying requirements for documentation and repayment guarantees and introducing variable interest rates and terms. Mayobre says that the bank is struggling to meet demand for its services and may open new branches in several parts of the island, including Havana and provincial capitals. The warm waters of the Bahamas are home to a collection of large-scale underwater sculptures, including one considered the world's largest. It rises nearly 18 feet from the seafloor and is designed to help protect and preserve natural coral reefs of that Caribbean archipelago. Jasmine McPhee, an associate of DWS Partners, the consulting firm hired for this ongoing initiative, says the Coral Reef Sculpture Garden attracts divers from all over the world, art enthusiasts, marine biologists, and other science educational groups. The Bahamian government has agreed to lease a near-shore seabed in waters off the western coast of New Providence Island, the Bahamas Reef Environment Education Foundation, or BREEF, which started installing the sculptures in September. BREEF Executive Director Kazarina McKinney-Lambert says that a sculpture garden is the perfect fusion of art, education, and seafloor conservation located in the world's most beautiful waters. The installation of the eco-friendly artwork will serve to redirect the beachgoers and the snorkelers away from natural reefs and allow time for them to regenerate. The main attraction is the world's largest underwater sculpture, a creation of British art Jason de Taylor that rises approximately 18 feet from the seafloor, nearly to the ocean surface, and weighs around 60 pounds. The artist says the work alludes to the Greek mythological character Atlas, who was condemned to carry the world on his back. In de Taylor's work titled Ocean Atlas, the sculpture depicts a local teenage girl holding up the sea. Brazil's underground economy will shrink slightly this year to 16.2% of gross domestic product, down from 16.3% in 2013. That's according to a study released by the Getulio Vargas Foundation, or FGV, a private higher education institution. Economic activities that are not legally recognized will amount to $326.7 billion this year, according to data from the so-called Underground Economy Index, which is calculated by the FGV's Brazilian Institute of Economics, or IBRE, and the Brazilian Institute of Ethical Competition. Last year, the underground economy was equivalent to 16.3% of Brazil's GDP, which amounted to $1.89 trillion. The underground economy has decreased as a percentage of Brazil's gross domestic product every year since 2003, when it was equal to 21% of GDP, but this year's figures point to a slower reduction. Economist Fernando de Orlando Vilo, an IBRE researcher, says these results are attributable to the scant growth of Brazil's formal sector this year. He says Brazil's economy is slowing down, and so is credit, while employment has grown very little. He explains that that has had a direct impact on the formal sector, which is naturally declining and ceding ground to informality. The underground economy, which includes all output not reported to the government, covers both informal and illegal economic activity. The informal sector encompasses the production and exchange of goods and services that are not illegal in themselves. However, all or part of that activity is deliberately concealed from the tax authorities. The illegal economy, meanwhile, it includes activities such as prostitution and weapons and drug trafficking that are against the law. The U.S. Assistant Secretary of State of the Bureau for International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs traveled today to the Bahamas for talks on counter-narcotics cooperation. During his visit, William Brownfield also met with representatives of the neighboring British Overseas Territory of the Turks and Caicos, the State Department said. The U.S. Coast Guard and Drug Enforcement Administration work with Bahamian and Turks and Caicos authorities under the aegis of Operation Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, or UPBAT. In 2012, up-bat enforcement actions led to 201 arrests and the seizure of 236 kilos of cocaine, 162 metric tons of marijuana, 149,074 marijuana plants, and $122,333 in assets. The Bahamas and Turks and Caicos are considered transit territories for drugs bound for the United States. Toyota will recall some 362,000 vehicles worldwide of 7 of its models, including passenger cars, vans, and trucks, on account of technical glitches, the Japanese car maker said Thursday. Leading the recalls was the Camry sedan, which is manufactured by Toyota and sold in the U.S. and other markets by Daihatsu subsidiary under the name Altis. Some 170,000 Camrys sold globally between 2011 and 2014. 120,000 of them in Europe will have to be reviewed for defects in the suspension system, said the company in an email. Toyota has also recalled 106,000 Hiace, Regius Ace, and Dyna vans over a fuel pack defect. The recall by the world's leading car manufacturing company also covers some 86,000 Crown and Crown Majesta vehicles in Japan over a seat glitch. This is the 5th recall by Toyota this year, after others in February, April, June, and October that have together affected almost 12 million automobiles around the world. A team of archaeologists has discovered the bones of 2 babies in Alaska who were buried around 11,500 years ago during the glaciation of the last ice age. This makes them the youngest human remains ever traced to North America's earliest inhabitants. The discovery took place in 2013 near the Tanana River in central Alaska, but was published only recently in the science journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. In 2010, the archaeologists had found partially cremated remains of a 3-year-old in a large sand dune close to Fairbanks, but it was not until 3 years later that they realized that there were more remains just 15 inches below the site of the same area. It was there that they found the remains of a baby who died only a few weeks old after birth, as well as a fetus who was probably stillborn. The shape of the pelvis of both babies suggests that they could have been girls. University of Alaska Fairbanks archaeologist Ben Potter, who led the excavations, says that taken collectively, these burials and cremations reflect complex behavior related to death among the early inhabitants of North America. The babies were buried with spearheads and darts, allegedly used for hunting near salmon bones, which seem indicative of how important those fish are. And that's it for Caribbean News Desk for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dennis Chabrol. Good night.